either way, it's the bubbles is going to make it real hard for the players to shoot their shot, though, even though they're literally shooting shots.
So, when is it appropriate when you find someone attractive to shoot your shot? What do you get?
It's the question of the day for Ash. I'll go ahead and answer first. So when you like someone, or whether you think someone's cute, you introduce yourself, or just in general, when you want to shoot your shot. For me, I'm always like, as soon as possible is just let it be known that you're interested in them. And I say that out of experience of being on the friend zone end for too many times, like as I was younger, because I feel like the longer you just like are friendly with someone and really not letting your intentions be known, the longer that person will be like, oh, he's just a good friend, right? So for me, it's like, if like you meet them, you guys are clicking, or if you even like get their number, I would let them know right away. Like that's my answer. Is the sooner the better. Hey, I think you're attractive. I'm interested.
Can you give an example? Can you give an example of shooting your shot for the audience? That way they know what we're speaking of.
So there's multiple levels, right? So like the just meeting someone level is just like, hey, I think you're cute. Is there any way I could get your number? I think that counts as shooting your shot. I think if you have like a classmate, right? So like I don't know, and if you muster up the courage, and whether it's like days in or weeks in, finally being like, hey, I was wondering if you wanted to hang out sometime. That I guess could be considered shooting your shot. Or if you have a friend who you've always liked, and this one's tricky though, because you could be in the friend zone at that point, and that's why I always like vouch for as soon as possible. But that's also another one. If you have a friend and you just finally like, hey, I actually like you more than a friend, that could be like shooting your shot.
So I always consider the shooting the shot thing, and this is maybe going too detailed into the idea, is like when you shoot your shot, you either make it or you miss it, right? So
yeah.
It's I guess the shooting your shot is like when you finally
shooting your shot.
when you're shooting your shot, I'm getting shot at. When you're shooting your shot at, like, when you're about to ask a girl out or you're trying to introduce yourself, it's basically a make or miss moment, and that's where shooting your shot comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So
like, basically, to you, shooting your shot is like asking them on a date, for instance. They're either going to say yes because they know your intention, or they're going to say no because they don't have the same intention.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And then basically it's either like,
or letting them know that hey, I'm interested in you.
Right.
Or hey, I find you attractive.
Basically, it's you're shooting your shot, and then their reactions based on if you made it or you missed it.
Right.
What do you think, Steven? Well, as far as all of this,
as a married father,
he's about to back out right now. Respectfully pass.
I'm just gonna throw that I was on the prowl right before, but if you shoot your shot too early, you come off as aggressive. And if you wait too long, you get friend zoned. So I think with experience, and not a lot of people get, the first one that they try all the time, but it takes practice. But I mean, if you develop the people skill, you'll be able to know when the right time is to shoot your shot,
And it's a tricky game. And to be honest, that might be the best answer, but that's still a very tricky game because now you're moving closer to friend zone and farther away from not being assertive enough. I won't say aggressive by going right away, because like you said, by going right away you could be aggressive, but
you are right. If you meet somebody, right, and you just meet them that night, or you meet them whenever, right, you need to shoot your shot right away to get their number. That's correct, because if you lose contact, I mean, today you have Instagram, you have all that other social media.
But you're saying if it's more of like a reoccurring thing, like whether it's a classmate or I don't know, like a volunteer thing, and you just think someone's cute, and you guys volunteer, be like Saturday or some random thing. I don't know.
And there's
maybe those types of situations.
Sorry, but there's no right or wrong answer. And
and what's your answer, Brian? I don't know if you.
There's a wrong answer, Brian. Never shooting your shot is a wrong answer.
That's true.
That's a painful alternative too, because you're living with that. You never know. And
throwing the ball out of bounds, or?
Exactly, basically, yeah. Because if you get to the point where you just never shoot your shot, you're kind of accepting the fact that you're going to be in the friend zone, or that you're already in the friend zone.
Right. I'll to throw a twist on this, maybe like how I did to the ghosting thing last
You throw
week.
your Twix on it.
I thought the right twist is I always felt like do enough research for your, not like necessarily research, but do enough for yourself to know that you want to shoot the shot. And like, so for example, because what if you make the basket and you realize you're now in a situation that it's difficult to get out of because you now with a toxic, you're dealing with a toxic person. Because I've been in situations where I've shot my shot, made it, and then regretted it immediately after.
Brian gets slapped right now.
So no, I like that.
No,
I shot
yeah,
this
I
one.
think I've been in those situations too. It's crazy though, because like at that point you just gotta like establish that you're like like if you shoot your shot, you make it, then you're just in the dating phase though. But I see what you're saying though. Yeah, like I like to think of myself as naturally a nice guy. I'm typically shyer, but yeah, nice in general. And yeah, sometimes yeah, like if you shoot your shot, make it, and you're dating, and then you're too nice to be like, oh, like like that's a dangerous thing. That's a dangerous thing too.
And then you start going into the ghosting.
Right? And that's what I was about to say, because that's a dangerous thing too, because if you're too nice to be like, oh, like maybe we should just stay friends, or any other alternative of like, oh, I don't know if this is working, that's what you should say. But if you're too nice, you could end up hurting that person, like pretty bad, you're hurting their feelings and like, or whatever. And so that's also a horrible thing that could happen from that. But
sometimes people
God forbid you hurt someone's feelings, huh?
Well,
what happened?
Sometimes
I said, I know, yeah. I mean, my feelings have been hurt plenty of times.
Right. It's a part of the game. It's a part. Dating, yeah. It's a jungle out there, and
well, you don't cry, so it makes sense.
That's hilarious. But I mean, I've gotten like internally angry at like examples, or one example when someone were straight up honest with me, like, hey, yeah, I talked to my ex, they said they were gonna change, and I'm sorry, but I just wanted to tell you. And I was like, like, okay, that's cool, but peace out. And so yeah, I was mad, but then I was like, you know what, I kind of respected that, because then it didn't waste my time. But I mean, it still hurts. It's
an initial,
it's a tricky situation.
Pain.
Yeah,
it's an initial pain, but eventually it goes away pretty quick.
Yeah.
So, moral of the story, don't be afraid to shoot your shot. Be honest, right? Don't waste people's time, especially in today's day and age.
Yes.
I do feel though that social media has kind of ruined that first part of dating, that first couple of like interactions with the person,
like meeting people.
Yeah, because
you sound like a boomer, so.
Well, I have a kid and I'm married, so yeah, I'm a little bit of a boomer. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I sound like a
Metro boomer on the track.
All I'm saying is that like, and I have friends who have used the dating sites, the Bumbles, the Tinders, and just it seems like there's no like interaction, like real, like I want to get to know who you are as a person, or I want to know something about you. It's more like, how do I get into your pants, basically, And so,
well, that's like a different like subject altogether too, because that's just like a difficult, like from my personal experience, I think that's like a difficult world. I think the stigma is done by now. I think years ago it was already like shattered of like, oh, online dating, that's not a legit way of dating, right? I think that's been shattered. But I think, again, personally, I think that's like a hard world to win at for me, because like Steven said, it takes out the meeting in-person factor, and I feel like that's probably where I thrive most, is through my personality, because this face doesn't do it on social media. But
right.
But he said, right. Dang, Steven.
So not that you're ugly, but like there's no way to display your personality through a text.
Yeah, and I would say it's my advantage.
A DM,
well, let me
because I'm right there with you. I had to be the funny guy. I have to be the personality guy. Like I wouldn't be where I am today if I had to freaking DM somebody. Like,
yeah. And then before Brian gets his point on the other side, though, it's also a great way to like kind of cut the middleman of
Of a
of like busy
subscription.
schedules sometimes, or like awkward schedules that never would have met to begin with.
That's
But
a
go ahead,
called
Ron.
statement. So,
Awkward, yeah.
no,
Awkward schedules.
uh,
Well,
but,
awkward schedule would be a good one for the lightning
uh,
round. But go ahead. Sorry.
uh, it also kind of allows you to like cancel the bullshit stuff too. Like, so like there was a phase before I met my significant other on Bubble. I would set up dates and then cancel them because I'd rather play video games with you guys.
Dang, hey, careful! You can slap again.
You know, and it's
That's hilarious, though. Yeah.
because I was like, you know what, it's just not worth it. Based on what I know already, it's just not worth it. Now, so like I've been able to kind of like patiently wait till there was somebody that was worth it.
It's easier to filter, and like some of the earlier problems that we were talking about, like what if you shoot your shot and make it? It's like, oh, now we're kind of like awkwardly dating.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to filter, your time that way, like you said.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then just to kind of go on the other side, though, I feel like those experiences are what, like, they give you that knowledge, like of how to have a certain type of relationship or to know what you're looking for or not looking for in a person.
I get that.
So it kind of helps you grow as a person. And so, like, oh, I don't really want somebody that, is this way or is into this or things like that.
Well, for the most part too, you like it's not just like when you find someone on a dating app, they're always on the dating app. Like you do have to go meet the person.
Yes,
No,
yes,
definitely.
yeah.
Unless you want to play video games with your friends. Then.
Yeah,
That's hilarious, dude. It's funny though, because like the biggest problem that I had with dating apps is trying to be funny via texting words, right? I'm like, I like I'm more funny in person, whereas in texting, I'm like I just don't know how to do it. Basically, my biggest problem was basically getting from texting to like, hey, let's go on like a little like meeting date or whatever, like at a coffee shop or whatever. But
costume shop. Man, imagine you leave. Hey, you want to go meet a
costume.
You're gonna hit up.
I'm just dressed like the Hulk.
Oh man, I wish we could put the picture of you as the Hulk right there on the front, dude. Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah. You don't want to see me when I'm lonely.